Akansha Swaroop. Now, days after a court-ordered survey conducted on the Shahi Jama Masjid in Uttar Pradesh, Sambhal, led to protests and the killing of 5, a Rajasthan court has now accepted a petition claiming that the mausoleum of Sufi saint Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti or the Ajmer Sharif Dargah is actually a Shiva temple. The suit asks for the union government to be directed to construct the Bhagwan Shri Sankat Mochan Mahadev temple at this site. Now, AIMIM's Asaduddin Owaisi has already criticized BJP and the RSS over the Ajmer Sharif Dargah controversy. They've questioned the courts and the government's stance on places of worship act. Parties like the Samajwadi, the Congress, even the Aam Aadmi Party and the CPIM now are maintaining that violations of the 1991 Places of Worship Act are fueling communal tensions. The opposition has warned of further consequences if such legal disputes were allowed to proceed. On the other hand, Union Minister Giriraj Singh has accused the Congress party and former Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru of being responsible for several historical challenges currently being faced by India. Defending the Ajmer court-ordered survey of temples, Giriraj Singh has stated that such actions are necessary to uncover historical truths and ensure justice. His remarks have sparked a fresh debate about the interpretation of history and its impact on contemporary politics. Considering the development takes place close on the heels of violence that took place in Sambhal in Uttar Pradesh, killing 5 people and injuring several others, including policemen, the opposition is already up in arms, raising the moot question if the country is headed for another showdown after Sambhal. And with that, let's also tell you what, in fact, everybody has been claiming. Vishnu Gupta, the chief of Hindu Sena, has claimed that there was a temple at Ajmer Dargah site. This petition by Vishnu Gupta, who's the petitioner, is the national president of the Hindu Sena. He's asking for a survey of the Ajmer Sharif Dargah, the shrine of the revered Sufi saint Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti, in view of the purported evidence for the existence of an ancient temple to Lord Shiva at the site. He has also quoted various books written by Harbilas Sarda, an Ajmer-based judge turned politician. Gupta has now alleged that Sarda, in a 1910 publication, had written about the presence of a Hindu temple beneath the Dargah. With evidence suggesting in the book, petitioner has said that tradition says that inside the cellar is the image of Mahadev in a temple. On the cellar, sandal has been used to be placed every day by a Brahmin family, still maintained by the Dargah as a Gharyali, as it's called. Roads in Ajmer have been named after author Sarda, so the court should also take his words seriously. A survey henceforth should be done only so that the truth comes out. The Ajmer structure was constructed after demolishing Hindu and Jain temples. Locals are saying that as recently as 50 years ago, a priest used to even pray there. And there used to be a shivling as well, which was moved to the basement area. So a survey should be done only so that everything becomes clear in terms of even historical facts. Chishti was not born here and he wasn't from Ajmer. So who was here before Chishti? Prithviraj Chauhan, and the city was known as Ajmer. These are the facts that have been shared in the book as well. While seeking a survey of the Dargah, petitioner has also demanded that Ajmer's Dargah be declared as a Sankat Mochan Mahadev temple. The Dargah's registration should be cancelled and ASI survey should be done. Hindus must be given the right to pray. Also, there are 2 sites, 2 big claims in just a week after Sambhal, especially one in Uttar Pradesh, Sambhal, and the other in Rajasthan's Ajmer. In the case of Ajmer Dargah, Hindu side has already appealed before the court to allow the survey to bring out the truth that the Shiva temple did exist at the Dargah site. The court in Ajmer has accepted this petition. The petitioner in Sambhal case mentioned the Harihar temple that had been demolished to build the masjid. In the Ajmer Dargah case, the petitioner says the Sankat Mochan Mahadev temple was demolished. In Sambhal's Jama Masjid dispute case, the petitioner says that the site belongs to Lord Kalki Vishnu's avatar. The petitioner Vishnu Gupta has said that there exists a Shiva temple inside the Dargah. The court has admitted this plea. In the Sambhal dispute case, the court ordered a survey on 19th November. The petitioner, Vishnu Gupta, now wants the dargah registration to be cancelled once ASI survey brings out this entire truth. The violence was also witnessed after the ASI conducted survey in Sambhal. So that is the fear. Is there going to be another showdown just like the one that took place in Sambhal? The AIM-PILB has in fact issued a threat as well. The AIM-PILB is now demanding that the Supreme Court to stop lower courts from accepting such petitions. This is what in fact Asaduddin Owaisi has been saying and appealing to the Chief Justice of India to take immediate suo motu action in this entire matter and direct lower courts to refrain from opening doors to any further disputes. Additionally, it is the responsibility of both central and state governments to strictly enforce this law passed by the parliament, and failure to do so could also lead to an explosive situation across the entire country for which the Supreme Court and the central government will be held accountable. Can we afford another Sambhal-like situation in India is the big question right now, and that is what we'll be posing to our esteemed panelists. Mr. Kaushal K. Mishra, who's the spokesperson of the Uttar Pradesh BJP, Vivek Salas, who's the spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, Satya Mule, who's an advocate, and Adil Hassan, who's the spokesperson of the AIMIM. Many thanks to you, gentlemen, for joining in. In fact, let me quickly start with Vivek Salas, or Vivek, I want to ask your views when you hear a Giriraj Singh talk about how there has been historical injustice and primarily at the hands of the Congress party and by, say, the likes of Jawaharlal Nehru, and that what is now being done is only to rectify those historical mistakes. How do you put that into perspective?
As far as Giriraj Singh is concerned, I think the entire country knows what type of politics he has been doing in the past for the Bharatiya Janata Party. And if you see the recent Jharkhand elections, just prior to that, what he was doing in Bihar, it is the situation is very dangerous. Today we are talking, as you mentioned in your opening comment, that we will have Sambhal-like situation in entire India. It could be Ajmer, but let me tell you one more fact. There are 30,000 mosques in India which are in the list. So are we going to dig 30,000 mosques and say and claim that they were all mandirs? Or I cannot, point out fingers whether they were or they were not. But is India going to be developed by 2047 doing these things? I'm very sad to say no, because this will create a massive hatred among two communities. As you have already mentioned in this prior to what I spoke, this is not going to lead India anywhere. This is a very dangerous situation that is being created in India by the Bharatiya Janata Party, which is, I think, it's not only the Muslim community. I think the Hindu community, the Christians, Jains, everyone will dislike it, because India has always been a peaceful country. We have never been, a very aggressive country. If you see the 5,000 history of our great nation, India was never aggressive. But this type of situation will be very dangerous in coming future. It will be dangerous for the coming generations. I don't know where is India heading for, and what type of politics is being played in India is out of my mind.
I'm actually going to take a rebuttal from Kaushal, but before I do that, Adil, I want to bring you in. Do lower courts not have the right to hear such cases? Why is Asaduddin Owaisi saying that lower courts should be barred, and in fact they should be made to also hear the Places of Worship Act?
मैम, प्लेसेस ऑफ वर्शिप एक्ट में क्लियर कहा गया है 1947 15 अगस्त से पहले जो भी चीज थी, उसके बाद जो भी यथास्थिति बनी है वही रहेगी। ये पार्लियामेंट ने कहा है, देश का सर्वोच्च लोकतंत्र का जो मंदिर है उसने ये जजमेंट दिया है। बैरिस्टर असदुद्दीन ओवैसी साहब बार बार कह रहे हैं, जिस दिन बाबरी मस्जिद का जजमेंट आया था उस दिन भी ये कहा था कि आपने जो जज्बात पे, जो भावना पे जजमेंट दे रहे हैं वो फैक्ट पे आप नहीं दे रहे हैं। ये पेंडोरा बॉक्स खुलेगा और उसी का नतीजा है संभल में 5 मासूम बच्चे चले गए। प्रधानमंत्री हो, पंडित नेहरू हो, कोई भी देश का, अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जी हो, हर ने अजमेर में चादर भेजा। आप कुतुबुल हिंद पर आप इतना अगर इसी चीज को बढ़ावा दीजिएगा तो हर जगह होगा। फिर गुजरात में मैं आपको बता दूं मैम, गुजरात में जूनागढ़ में एक गिरिहार पर्वत है, वहां पर जैन मंदिर और हिंदू मंदिर पर क्लैश है, तब क्या कीजिएगा? उड़ीसा में है और बोधगया में है, कहीं बुद्ध मंदिर है, कहीं जैन मंदिर है, हर जगह नरेंद्र मोदी भट्टी पे सुलाना चाहते हैं देश को, तो ठीक है। गिरिराज सिंह के बारे में मैम आप इतना सीरियस लेती है? जो आदमी 2005 से लेकर आज तक नरेंद्र मोदी, नीतीश कुमार की बिहार में सरकार है, गिरिराज सिंह का घुटना का ट्रांसप्लांट हुआ, वो दिल्ली जाके कराए, एक सरकारी हॉस्पिटल बिहार में नहीं खोल पाए, वो आदमी क्या करे? रघुवंश जी जब केंद्र में मंत्री तो हजारों करोड़ रुपया बिहार में दिया, इन्होंने टेक्सटाइल मंत्री में एक भी टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्री, एक भी टेक्सटाइल का कोई काम गिरिराज जी ने नहीं किया, सिवाय बयान के आज तक उन्होंने बिहार के लिए कुछ नहीं किया। उस आदमी को मीडिया इतना प्रमोट क्यों करती है, मुझे समझ में नहीं आता है। जो ना बिहार का हुआ, ना देश का हुआ, ना जनता का हुआ,
quoting what a union minister from the center has said.
ट्रांसप्लांट नहीं,
नहीं, उन्होंने जो कहा कि हिस्टोरिकल इंजस्टिस हुआ है और ये नेहरू जी के वक्त का लाया हुआ एक्ट था, उसमें उन्होंने बहुत से कौशल मिश्रा, if I could bring you in on this aspect.
आकांक्षा जी,
Adil, I have given you time. Let's also listen into what Kaushal has said. Vivek has made his point. Adil, you've made your point. Let me also listen into what Kaushal has to say.
मैम 1991 में नेहरू जी कहाँ थे? उस वक्त तो पीवी नरसिम्हा राव थे।
Right. Kaushal, please go ahead.
आकांक्षा, जो मेरे दोस्त आदिल हसन कह रहे हैं, उनको उस जिस एक्ट का नाम ले रहे हैं उसको पढ़ना चाहिए। उस एक्ट का क्लॉज 3 सेक्शन ए एग्जेम्प्ट करता है एंशियंट हिस्टोरिकल आर्कियोलॉजिकल साइट एंड और एनी बिल्डिंग विच इज अंडर एंशियंट मॉन्यूमेंट और आर्कियोलॉजिकल एक्ट 1968. So these sites are exempted by that act only. So all the courts knows what they are doing better than us, even better than me, and even better than everybody who is sitting here. They are a constitutional authority. They are just analyzing and doing what is the constitution provided the power to them. Another thing, Akansha, just listen. In Sabrimala case, what happened? A Muslim lady wanted to visit the Sabrimala. She approached court and 5 judges bench sat on that, and still pending, case is still pending. Hindus, 80% Hindus are silent. In the Jallikattu case is against Hindu culture, Hindus are silent. In temples, PETA organization stopped elephants, horses, peacocks. Court has stopped Ganesh Pratima Visarjan in the rivers, Durga Puja Visarjan in the rivers, Kanwad Yatra stopped, 84 Kosi Parikrama stopped. All these are stopped by the authority, competent authority, and 80%
Right.
abide
Satyamule, I'd
even
like,
we have
you
seen
know,
that
I also
4
want
5
to
years.
get,
Listen to me, let me complete, Akansha, because there are two people, okay, and listen, we are not whole country, and Delhi is not celebrating even Diwali Patakha because of court order. We are abiding by the constitution, and we are following the majority country. Men are following the constitutional right. If a minority committee lady goes to Supreme Court for their right exercise in the temple at the Sabrimala, it is a constitutional right provided by Ambedkar ji's constitution to that lady. The similar right is provided to other person who is going to court. Now there is a problem. There is no problem when the case is allowing the hijab. There is no problem if the court is allowing the loudspeaker. But if the banning of loudspeaker is there, banning hijab is there, then the court is a problem. If the halal economy is allowed, then it is fine. And if halal is banned,
I want to quickly bring in Satyamule. I think the entire discussion also boils down to ascertaining the religious nature of the place, and that I'm sure, Satyamule, if you can hear me, you will agree that Justice Chandrachud back in the year 2022 had clearly gone on to say that there should be absolutely no problem when you're talking about the ascertainment of the nature of any religious place or a place of worship. That is very much outside the ambit of the Places of Worship Act, and that as far as section 3 and 4 of the act are concerned, nobody can cry foul.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right. What the Supreme Court has said is absolutely right. In fact, I'll go one step forward and say that in this country we talk about secularism. If we have to talk about secularism, we cannot only talk about people, places of worship act. Why don't you talk about Waqf board and Waqf act, which is even today going on encroaching upon properties of people, private citizen, government, and so forth. What kind of secularism is this? The People's Places of Worship Act as well as the Waqf board act both are anti-secular, and they are ultra virus to the provisions of the Constitution of India, and in due course of time they must be struck off and they should be normalized to bring equality between all the communities. Article 14 states that there should be equality before law. Law and constitution are to be equal for all. But there are certain communities in India who are thinking that their religious books are above the Constitution of India, above the law of India. Then this is not going to be acceptable in the democracy of India. Stone pelters, let me conclude. Stone pelters, hate mongers, hate spreaders must be dealt with iron hands. And in fact, National Security Act, National Safety Act must be invoked against the people who are now making statements that if this kind of archaeological surveys are ordered, there will be fire in this country or country will go in violence. People like this can be detained.
And what gives the All India Muslim Personal Law Board the right to threaten an explosive situation, Adil? We are talking about having a just nation. We are talking about living peacefully, as has been, the chatter throughout the day. That is the word that's coming in from major politicians from the opposition party. They're blaming the BJP and the RSS for doing this for political dividends. What explains why the AIMPLB is now threatening such an explosive situation? That did not happen when the Ram Mandir was built. That did not happen when the survey happened as far as Gyanvapi and Mathura are concerned. Why now?
मैम, आपके चैनल के माध्यम से परसों 2 दिन पहले ऑनरेबल पंजाब हाई कोर्ट, हरियाणा हाई कोर्ट ने कहा कि अगर गैजेट बन गया है दैट इज वक्फ प्रॉपर्टी। ऑनरेबल हाई कोर्ट का जजमेंट है और सुप्रीम कोर्ट का 10-50 जजमेंट इसमें है कि वंस ए वक्फ ऑलवेज ए वक्फ। मैम, आज ही उत्तर प्रदेश पुलिस को जस्टिस सूर्यकांत, ऑनरेबल जस्टिस सूर्यकांत ने कहा कि सत्ता के मलाई खा रही है उत्तर प्रदेश पुलिस। और आपको बता दें, गाजियाबाद में अखलाक को मारा गया था बीफ के नाम पर, और 185 टन बीफ पुरुन जोशी जो उत्तर प्रदेश में गाजियाबाद में पकड़ाए हैं, और उत्तर प्रदेश के जो योगी आदित्यनाथ चुप है, भाजपा चुप है। बीफ एक्सपोर्ट पे 20,000 करोड़ टैक्स लेता है।
और उन पुलिसमैन का क्या जिन्होंने
ये योगी सरकार ये जो नामर्द है,
नहीं और उन पुलिसमैन का क्या जिन्होंने पेलेट गन से गोलियां खाई हैं अपनी टांगों में? आज ही हमने वो स्टोरी रन की है। कितने सारे पुलिसमैन हैं जिनके ऊपर गोलियां चलाई गई हैं, जिनके ऊपर पत्थर बरसाए गए हैं, तब आप क्यों नहीं बोलते?
मैम सुन लीजिए, 5 बच्चों के साथ जो नाइंसाफी हुई, उनकी माओ से पूछिए, उनके अनाथ बच्चों से पूछिए। जो नाइंसाफी पुलिस वाले ने किया, ऊपर वाले की अदालत सबसे बड़ी अदालत है और इस देश में सुप्रीम कोर्ट है। डीजी बंजारा भी जेल में था, आईपीएस और आईएएस भी जेल में रहते हैं। वो पुलिस वाले याद रखें।
कौशल मिश्रा, who was responsible? I want to ask you, Kaushal Mishra. All right, Adil, I've given you enough time to speak. Stop venting over here and don't mix topics over here. We are not debating Waqf issue right now. Kaushal Mishra, no, let me bring in Kaushal Mishra. Kaushal Mishra, who's responsible for Sambhal? Of course, it is your party's governance which is currently being questioned, but who's responsible for that violence?
आकांक्षा, लॉ एंड ऑर्डर अपने हिसाब से काम करेगा, देश संविधान से चलेगा, कुरान से नहीं चलेगा। ये बात जब तक लोगों को समझ में नहीं आएगी तब तक इस तरह से अपवाद आते रहेंगे। जिस तरह से हिंदुओं ने, मेजॉरिटी, देश के मेजॉरिटी पॉपुलेशन ने बहुत सारे एंटी हिंदू कल्चर जजमेंट को एक्सेप्ट किया है, हिंदुस्तान में रहने वाले हर नागरिक को इस तरह के जजमेंट को एक्सेप्ट करने की आदत डालनी चाहिए। क्यों? क्योंकि ये बाबा साहब के संविधान से चलेगा, ना कि किसी की कुरान से चलेगा। जब तक ये बात समझ में नहीं आएगी तब तक इस तरह से बात ये संभल के लोग करेंगे या ये असदुद्दीन ओवैसी वाले लोग करेंगे, क्योंकि इनकी राजनीति केवल 20% के वोट बैंक से चलती है। आप देखिए ना, असदुद्दीन ओवैसी कैरेक्टर क्या रहा है, जहां जहां मुस्लिम पॉपुलेशन 50% से ज्यादा है, केवल ये वहीं पर अपने कैंडिडेट फील्ड करते हैं, बाकी नहीं करते। तो तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति असदुद्दीन ओवैसी हो या उत्तर प्रदेश की मुस्लिम लीग बन चुकी समाजवादी पार्टी हो, क्योंकि हिंदू विरोध करना, हिंदू कल्चर का विरोध करना और हर चीज जो प्रो हिंदू अगर कुछ भी होती है उसका विरोध करना,
कौशल
ये तो
मिश्रा,
समाजवादी पार्टी
मैं एक सवाल से बहुत सहमत हूं असदुद्दीन ओवैसी के। ओवैसी ने आज बहुत सही सवाल उठाया है। 2 साल से आप लोगों से एक एफिडेविट मांगा जा रहा है, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट वो एफिडेविट क्यों नहीं सुप्रीम कोर्ट में विद रिगार्ड्स टू प्लेसेस ऑफ वर्शिप एक्ट, अभी तक वो एफिडेविट क्यों नहीं फाइल कर पाई है? आप मुझे बताइए क्यों नहीं कर पाई? 2 साल से।
अरे भाई सुप्रीम
2 हफ्ते पहले दिए गए थे।
सुप्रीम कोर्ट, अरे भाई सुप्रीम कोर्ट पे एफिडेविट है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट जब मांगेगी जमा कर दिया जाएगा।
मांग चुकी है 2022 में मांग चुकी।
50 बार 2 साल से मांगी जा रही है।
Vivek
तो
Salas, I think you wanted to make a point.
जब अगली डेडलाइन दिया जाएगा।
Let me also hear what Vivek wants to say. Vivek, please go ahead. You know, I don't get it. Why are we constantly saying that we will see a Sambhal-like situation? Who led to that situation? We've seen just the kind of the kind of commentary that was taking place. Mr. Burke has gone on to say, मतलब अगर यहाँ पे मस्जिद था, मस्जिद है, मस्जिद इंशाल्लाह रहेगा। तो इस तरह के भड़काऊ बयानों के लिए कौन रिस्पॉन्सिबल होता है? Who is responsible for the kind of mob fury we are seeing? With what right are women and children pelting stones? With what rights are bullets being fired at the policemen there? Who was supplying them with country-made pistols?
I think we all know that the law and order is a state subject, and fortunately or unfortunately, whatever it is, the Bharatiya Janata Party led by Yogi Adityanath ji is in the power in Uttar Pradesh. So if at all it comes to law and order, it's up to the Uttar Pradesh government how they are going to deal it. And if leaders or member of parliaments, MLAs of the Samajwadi Party are involved in this, who's stopping you? Who's stopping you? It's the question is you yourself want to do it. What happened in Bahraich? The media said it's the Samajwadi Party who are behind the riots, and what came out? It came out that the Bharatiya Janata Party was involved. The Bharatiya Janata Party MLA said yes, it was the Bharatiya Janata Party. It was the president of the Bharatiya Janata Party in Bahraich, Vikas Srivastava, who was doing all such activities. So my question is, as I already said, that India needs peace and development, education and health. But it's so unfortunate that where in our esteemed country is going at the moment, it's heartbreaking actually. The kind of politics that is being played in India at the moment is very dangerous for the coming generations, and the people of India are understanding it. There will be a time, I'm telling you, when the people will be on street to protest against such activities, whether it is done by the Bharatiya Janata Party or the RSS.
All right, I want to quickly take a question from Satya Mule, but Kaushal, I'll give you time to come up with a rebuttal to that. Kaushal?
विकास, जब इसी देश में हिंदू कोड बिल आया था, यूसीसी नहीं आया था, जब इसी
जो दंगे कर रहा था, मेरा नाम विवेक है।
अरे विवेक जी, कोई बात नहीं, आप इतना ऑफेंसिव क्यों हो रहे हैं? इतने ऑफेंसिव क्यों हो रहे हैं भाई? इतने ऑफेंसिव क्यों हो रहे हैं विवेक जी? आकांक्षा,
ऑलराइट कौशल, प्लीज मेक योर पॉइंट।
आकांक्षा, ये तो नहीं होगा ना?
हाँ, प्लीज गो अहेड, मेक योर पॉइंट।
मैं सिर्फ ये कहना चाह रहा हूं कि जब इसी देश में हिंदू कोड बिल आया था, यूसीसी नहीं आया था, इसी में शाहबानो केस हुआ था, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने एक महिला के साथ जजमेंट दिया था, पार्लियामेंट ने उसको पलट दिया था। जब माइनॉरिटी कमीशन एक्ट आया, जब यही प्लेसेस ऑफ वर्शिप एक्ट लाया गया, जब माइनॉरिटी कमीशन सेट किया गया, जब हिंदुओं को डिवाइड करके हिंदू, बुद्ध, जैन, सिख में बांटा गया, तब पूरा देश शांत था, तब कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं थी, कब कोई दिक्कत नहीं थी। अब जब कोर्ट अपना काम कर रही है और जुडिशियल रिव्यू कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल राइट प्रोवाइडेड टू द सुप्रीम कोर्ट, टू एवरी कोर्ट, after the Koilo judgment, anything can be judicially scrutinied. So what is the problem in scrutiny? What is the problem in investigating? And वो कह रहे हैं ना कि एक बार जहां मस्जिद वहां मस्जिद, उसके पहले एक बार जहां मंदिर हो जाता है, जहां उसकी प्राण प्रतिष्ठा हो जाती है, वहां पर पूजा होती रहती है अनंत काल तक।
On what basis has the survey in Varanasi and Mathura been allowed? If there is a pending constitutional challenge to the 1991 Places of Worship Act, Satya Mule.
There is no stay. There is a pending challenge. The court has powers to order ascertaining of facts, and therefore the court being an Indian court under the Constitution of India, I think all the communities must respect the court's order, and they should demonstrate now. This time is to demonstrate that they are a peace living community. Now what happens is the court can order the particular ascertainment. If they have any problem, they can go to the higher court and challenge this particular order instead of creating violence. Creating violence, in fact, is playing very badly on a particular community, and this is in fact demonstrating that they are being selective about peace as well as violence, as well as law, as well as following the law. None of these people, OAC, you talk about it, the leaders of Samajwadi Party, or for that matter, anybody who is making a hue and cry are doing fear mongering or hate mongering, they are not speaking anything about the atrocities being committed on Hindus in Bangladesh.
I'm going to quickly end with you, Adil. And you know why? No. I've given you ample time to speak. Please do not dilute the debate over here by going into other discussions. Please answer my question. And my question is very pointed. Why are you gunning for the RSS? This when a Mohan Bhagwat on record, and let me quote him what he said. He's gone on to say, पर हर मस्जिद में शिवलिंग क्यों देखना है, वो भी एक पूजा है, ठीक है बाहर से आया है, लेकिन जिन्होंने अपनाया है वो मुसलमान, वो बाहर से संबंध नहीं रखते, ये उनको भी समझना चाहिए कि हमारे यहाँ के मुसलमान हैं. This is what Mohan Bhagwat has said, and that is the very RSS that you are condemning today. Adil, this is on record. I'd like your thoughts now.
मैम वी नेवर आस्क शरिया कानून यहाँ लागू.
आप मेरे सवाल का जवाब दीजिए साफ. आप आरएसएस को क्यों ब्लेम कर रहे हैं?
उन्होंने कुरान का नाम लिया.
आज मोहन भागवत का मैं आपको खुद पढ़ के बता रही हूँ कोट क्या है.
मैम सुन लिया मैम, उनका सुना हो
तो आप एडमिट करते हैं कि आरएसएस गन नहीं है. आप एडमिट करते हैं कि आप मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन फैला रहे हैं.
मैम लेट मी स्पीक प्लीज. आपने कहा कि 2 साल से सुप्रीम कोर्ट में एफिडेविट केंद्र सरकार नहीं दी है. आपको यही बतलाना चाहते हैं कि मोहन भागवत जी की बात भी अब सुनी नहीं जा रही है इस देश में. हमने आरएसएस पे बैन सरदार पटेल ने किया था संविधान नहीं मानने पर और तिरंगा नहीं मानने पर. और आपको बता दो मूलभूत मुद्दे से ये मोदी सरकार भड़काना चाहती है. 36 लाख करोड़ पेट्रोल का टैक्स दिया है 5 साल में, वो बचाना चाहती है. और मैम
it's being said that the BJP is currently opposing what even Mohan Bhagwat and the RSS have in fact.
ये हिंदुओं के लिए देखिए कितना बड़ा अत्याचार है.
आकांक्षा बीजेपी
what you are doing is now also injustice to the Hindus.
Akanksha, BJP and government is doing whatever is valid as per constitution. They are not bound to any organization. They are bound to the Constitution of India, and Constitution of India provided that power that courts should act in their own manner, and they are independent, and they are working as per law passed by Parliament as well as by Baba Saheb Ambedkar. So what is the problem in that? The problem is that
Kaushal, I will tell you what is the problem. The country doesn't want to be dug up. Please don't go ahead and start digging up each and every mosque over here, because we don't know how many temples are lying beneath. I'd like to end with that thought. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining in on The Right Stand. And with that, we are slipping into a quick break. Developments will be in fact bringing you developments from Maharashtra after the break. Remember, we are also, in fact, there's a very high profile meeting currently taking place as far as the BJP top brass is concerned. We are learning that currently the Home Minister Amit Shah is meeting with Devendra Fadnavis, even Ajit Pawar, and also Eknath Shinde. We will be bringing you all those latest developments. Stay tuned to The Right Stand.
Does that speech not call for the genocide of Jews and the elimination of Israel?
When
You
that speech-
testify that you understand that is the definition of intifada.
Thank you, everybody, for your patience, for being here tonight. House Republicans just concluded a very productive and respectful conference meeting. Members from all across the conference shared their support for this important bill, and they shared their support for Speaker McCarthy's strong and effective leadership. This is a win for the American people and future generations. Last November, the American people sent a message strongly that they did not support the failed policies and reckless spending of single-party Democrat rule. The country entrusted House Republicans with our vision of a commitment to America to deliver results and rein in out-of-control spending, causing crippling inflation. The Fiscal Responsibility Act is a historic step to restoring fiscal sanity and holding Washington accountable.
A battle where we've been focused on ideals. We should reverse the state's ban on the safe extraction of natural gas and approve new pipeline applications.
Does that speech not call for the genocide of Jews and the elimination of Israel?
When
You
that speech-
testify that you understand that is the definition of intifada.
Welcome back. Now with Ajit Pawar, Eknath Shinde and man of the moment Devendra Fadnavis. The meeting is currently happening with Union Home Minister Amit Shah, and with that we are now expecting the Maharashtra power play to finally come to an end. Today's meeting is going to be extremely crucial because remember, it will be at this meeting that the power sharing formula will finally be tabled and decided. And BJP leader Devendra Fadnavis has already arrived in Delhi as is NCP's Ajit Pawar and Eknath Shinde of Shiv Sena. As you all know, Fadnavis is scheduled to meet the Union Home Minister Amit Shah. This meeting is currently going to take place. Shinde is also very much in the national capital, as is Ajit Pawar. Let's quickly go across to Arun Datta, who shed more light on this very crucial meeting. Arun, give us a sense of what can one expect. Many are saying that this is going to be more important than perhaps even the oath-taking ceremony, because this is where where they will be deciding the power sharing as far as the new cabinet is concerned.
Well, that's right. This is the most difficult task for, of course, the Mahayuti there in Maharashtra. Devendra Fadnavis has already reached Delhi. He, in fact, we saw the visuals coming out of the airport 45 minutes ago, and he's also likely to come here at Amit Shah's residence. And Eknath Shinde is somebody who hasn't arrived in Delhi. He will be, of course, reaching in Delhi. Ajit Pawar is already in Delhi. So all three leaders of NCP, Shiv Sena and BJP, they will be, of course, meeting Union Home Minister Amit Shah, and we are given to understand that JP Nadda will also be participating in this meeting. Now, the entire bone of contention is that who's going to be the Chief Minister and who all are going to be the Deputy Chief Minister. As of now, we know the formula is going to be Chief Minister and two Deputy Chief Ministers. But who's going to be the Chief Minister? Yesterday, we saw that there was a press conference of Eknath Shinde where he in fact made it very clear that he had spoken to Amit Shah and Prime Minister Modi, and he conveyed it to them that he will not become a roadblock in the formation of Mahayuti government in Maharashtra. So in a way, he made it very clear that he's not somebody who's in fact contesting for the top post. He left it to the top leadership of Bharatiya Janata Party. So it is all about, of course, the portfolios now which we are given to understand. If Eknath Shinde does not become the Chief Minister, then of course he will have that hard bargain for some meaty portfolios. So as Ajit Pawar.
And you know, do shed light on the entire formula of 21-12-10, which is on what that the new power sharing alliance will, you know, the entire formula will be based on. But when you talk about that entire formula, important to also talk about that if the BJP wants to retain significant portfolios like finance and home, what will it have to offer to an Eknath Shinde or an Ajit Pawar and their parties?
Well, see, today there was a press conference of Ajit Pawar, who's been camping in Delhi for last 2-3 days, and of course he was speaking there in press conference. He was sitting with the journalists off camera as well, and he seemed pretty happy. So he's in a very comfortable mood at this moment because, of course, his party has got some good results, 42 seats in these assembly elections, which is of course a very with a very good strike rate. And then you have Shiv Sena of Eknath Shinde with 57 seats. So both these alliance partners have performed well in these assembly elections. And also, of course, when BJP will of course be giving their name for the Chief Minister's post, they will also have to send out a message to the alliance that they equally respect the allies also. So if Eknath Shinde does not become the Chief Minister or he becomes the Deputy Chief Minister, then what are the portfolios with which he can be settled? What are those meaty portfolios which he would want to, whether he want to come to Delhi in the Union Cabinet or he wants to send somebody else. So there will be various permutation and combination, which of course this meeting will deliver with Home Minister Amit Shah, and then perhaps we will see in coming 2 to 3 days the government formation, and then of course the oath-taking ceremony of the government.
Arun, interestingly, Eknath Shinde has already made that clear that he wants to very much remain a Karyakarta and in fact be at the service of all the Maharashtrians over there. But having said that, I'm sure you'll also agree that caste dynamics is also going to play a very crucial role, especially when it comes to the allocation of critical berths. Because remember, the BJP right now with a Brahmin Chief Minister, a prospective Chief Minister in Devendra Fadnavis, cannot afford to miff the Marathas as well. But many thanks to you, for bringing in all those inputs, Arun. And with that, we slip into a quick break. But after that break, we'll be telling you everything that's taking place in Bangladesh, as Bangladesh is now targeting Iskon. Will Bharat be taking the right stand now? That's the question we'll be posing.
Does that speech not call for the genocide of Jews and the elimination of Israel?
When
You
that
testify that you understand that is the definition of intifada.
Thank you, everybody, for your patience, for being here tonight. House Republicans just concluded a very productive and respectful conference meeting. Members from all across the conference shared their support for this important bill, and they shared their support for Speaker McCarthy's strong and effective leadership. This is a win for the American people and future generations. Last November, the American people sent a message strongly that they did not support the failed policies and reckless spending of single-party Democrat rule. The country entrusted House Republicans with our vision of a commitment to America to deliver results and rein in out-of-control spending, causing crippling inflation. The Fiscal Responsibility Act is a historic step to restoring fiscal sanity and holding Washington accountable.
A battle where we've been focused on ideals. We should reverse the state's ban on the safe extraction of natural gas and approve new pipeline applications.
Does that speech not call for the genocide of Jews and the elimination of Israel?
when
You
that speech-
testify that you understand that is the definition of intifada.
Thank you, everybody, for your patience, for being here tonight. House Republicans just concluded a very productive and respectful conference meeting. Members from all across the conference shared their support for this important bill, and they shared their support.
You're watching The Right Stand with me, Akanksha Swaroop. Now, attacks on Hindus and the arrest of Iskon leader Chinmoy Prabhudas has sparked international furor. Yunus's changing tune over time has shown that he has completely given in to the Bangladeshi radicals. Violence against Hindus and other minorities in Bangladesh has already intensified since the then Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina was deposed on 5th of August in a coup this year. It further escalated after the arrest of former priest of Iskon, Bangladesh, Chinmoy Krishna Brahmachari over sedition charges that have been slapped against him. That has, of course, led to protests and unrest in Bangladesh, and former Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has taken on the Yunus government. She's claiming that the power grabbers have failed to contain the terrorists. She has demanded the immediate release of Chinmoy Das, and the arrest of the Iskon monk has also drawn criticism from several quarters in India. The MOS External Affairs Kirtivardhan Singh in the Parliament today, in fact, stated that the primary responsibility for the protection of life and liberty of all citizens of Bangladesh, including their minorities, rests with the government of Bangladesh. While hearing a petition calling for a ban on Iskon now, this is what happened at the High Court in Bangladesh that accused the group of being a radical organization and threatening the national security of Bangladesh. Now, the High Court declined to issue a suo motu order to ban Iskon's activities in Bangladesh. Radicals are, of course, running amok. Extremists are forcibly shutting down Iskon centers in Dhaka's Shipchar area. That, by the way, has happened today itself. So, is it time for India to take the right stand now? On that note, let me quickly introduce our esteemed panelists. In fact, I'm joined in by Mr. Sushant Sareen, who's a senior fellow at the ORF, and Mr. Salahuddin Shoaib Chaudhry, who's an editor at The Blitz, which is a renowned Bangladeshi newspaper. Let me quickly come to you, Sushant. Sushant, today what the Bangladesh High Court has said that we will not ban the Iskon. Why? Because the government is taking adequate measures and the necessary action to address the situation. This when an Iskon center has been shut down forcibly, that too by the army, today itself, devotees taken away. Are these the necessary action that the High Court is referring to? Is this now, after the governance of, say, Mohammed Yunus, is this now also a mockery of the Bangladeshi judiciary?
Well, clearly it is. I think it's very clear that the Bangladesh judiciary is simply not an independent judiciary, and it's under siege in many ways. We've seen, including the Chief Justice, who has been dragged out and been threatened. I think he's already quit, been forced to quit. So a lot of things are happening with the Bangladesh judiciary, but what the High Court has basically done is that it has, rather than giving relief and dismissing this petition with the contempt it deserved, and giving relief and some stay order or some protection to Iskon, which is being hounded on the streets, it has shoved the case back or put the ball back in the court of the government, which in any case is allowing its agencies to crack down on Iskon and hound the people associated with Iskon. So clearly the High Court has abdicated its responsibility. Now, obviously, they'll put the spin that, look, we did not take suo motu action and we did not impose a ban, and it's within the government's jurisdiction to do it. But quite clearly, the High Court is being rather disingenuous in the way it has behaved in this particular matter. Ideally, it should have issued directives to the government to give relief to ISKCON, to ensure that the way some of these, whether it's the army, the police, or the street thugs, the way they are intimidating people in ISKCON and actually calling for genocide in their marches, that needs to be curbed. But this is the Bangladesh High Court under the Nobel laureate. What do you expect?
Exactly my point. That's what I'm going to ask Mr. Chaudhary as well. Earlier during the coup time and prior to it, it was, as far as the mob fury on the roads was concerned, or even the lynching, Bangladesh was blaming, the governance was being blamed for it, that it is Sheikh Hasina's loyalists who are instigating that mob fury. That was the version till August we heard. Now you have Mohammed Yunus, who's lacking that political acumen. Does Mohammed Yunus even have a game plan?
Thank you very much, Akanksha ji. Before I give a response to your question, I would like to draw your attention to a very important matter. The case which is being filed against the Iskon members, and under which the Chinmay Prabhu is in the jail, they say they disrespected the flag of Bangladesh. Now, few hours ago, I have posted the video of that particular incident, and where it is seen the flag is not Bangladeshi flag. That flag bears crescent star, four corners. So this flag itself is not a flag of Bangladesh and placed by Islamists, the way Islamists have been waving flags of Al-Qaeda and Islamic State in Bangladesh very openly. Now, as you said, that previously government was coming with a narrative that those who are being attacked, they are Awami League activists, and
right.
Now they are coming.
No, and let me also add to that bit that today itself Sheikh Hasina has called for the release of Chinmay Prabhudas.
Yes, and now they are coming with a newer narrative. They are saying these Hindus are not Hindus. They belong to Awami League, and also they belong to Iskon terrorists. So this is very dangerous narrative. And Mohammed Yunus, he is actually heading kind of the final solution to make a Bangladesh, a Hindu-free Bangladesh. The same way Hitler had a final solution against the Jews, he is actually running the same final solution against the Hindus. So now, as I told you, Akanksha ji, there's a flag, the question flag. They say it has been disrespected. Bangladeshi flag. It's not Bangladeshi flag, even. But the case is filed, and the case is filed by an individual, not by the government. And still they are holding the Chinmay Prabhu in the jail. And in Chittagong jail, Akanksha ji, you have to remember that Chittagong jail is one of the epicenters which houses convicted and hardened jihadis and terrorists, including the members of Hifazat Islam, Hizb ut-Tahrir and others. And Hifazat Islam, as you know, they have been publicly chanting slogan for slaughtering Iskon, slaughtering Hindus, and slaughtering agents of India. So,
Sareen, tell me something. Why should I not have reasons to believe that this kind of Hindu phobia is indicative that Bangladesh is not a new Pakistan? Is it not headed in the same direction when it comes to, in fact, punishing the real perpetrators of violence, the ones who've been lynching, the ones who've been hounding, the ones who've been vandalizing and committing arson at Hindu places of worship and killing all those Hindus? Tell me, why should I not believe that Bangladesh is now headed in the same direction as that of Pakistan? It already is, perhaps. And that Mohammed Yunus is the butcher of Hindus. I see those banners splashed all over the streets of Bangladesh. I think they make more sense than ever. Sushant Sareen.
Bangladesh has become a safe haven.
I'd like to bring in Sushant. And I'll come to you, Mr. Chaudhary.
Akansha, we always seem to forget that Bangladesh started off as East Pakistan.
True. But we've also seen a very calm period during Hasina's tenure.
Yeah, and the DNA is of Pakistan, really. There are some people in Bangladesh who still probably, value secular values. They probably believe in a syncretic culture.
I'd like to believe Mr. Chaudhary is one of those.
Yes, but like I said, there are some people, many people in fact, but by and large, the society in Bangladesh has been radicalized over the years. I also remember that, unlike Pakistan, in Bangladesh, there has been a steady rise in violence against the Hindus, partly because there were Hindus left in Bangladesh. In Pakistan, they cleaned up all of them, right? But in Bangladesh, they were still Hindus. Their numbers have been going down drastically, but they've been there. Now look at the kind of excuses which are given. For example, that the Hindus, because they are aligned to Awami League, they are fair game. Now, if you are going to target a community on the basis of its political preference, then this is something which can be carried out all over the world. That there will be there will be religious or ethnic minorities which will support one or another political party which it thinks provides it protection. If you are going to target them on the basis of political preference, then what else is a genocidal kind of a regime? The second problem in Bangladesh is that, look, while the violence had been perpetrated against the Hindus even during Sheikh Hasina's regime, the problem now is that it's become far more institutionalized, far more systematic, and it's almost like an open season has been declared with no let or hindrance from the state authorities to put a stop to the kind of pogroms that are taking place.
But Sushant, I'd also like to refer to what the Ministry of External Affairs today had to say in the Parliament. It says that the government of India has deeply expressed its concerns about the incidents, including the attack on the Puja Mandap in Tanti Bazar in Dhaka and the theft at the Jeshoreshwari Kali temple at Satkira as well. So India has been communicating its concerns, but if we sort of command that kind of clout or that preeminence that we do claim that we have as the leading voice of the global south, why are our concerns falling on deaf ears in Bangladesh?
Because, every time you raise concerns, you also have to carry the big stick. Unfortunately, we think that moral suasion or appealing to the better sense of people is all that is required in diplomacy, and very often it's water off a duck's back, as seems to be happening in the case of Bangladesh. So like I said, I told you this earlier also, Akansha, that look, either this is sheer incompetence of the incumbent regime, which is incidentally an unconstitutional kind of a setup, right, which is in Bangladesh, or it is completely complicit in what is happening, and it's pretending that it cares, but actually it simply doesn't care about what's happening to the Hindus.
No, it certainly is pretending to care, because I'd like to give closing thoughts to Mr. Chaudhary. Mr. Chaudhary, if you can be threatened by an organization, or rather peace-loving organization like ISKCON, which is acknowledged the world over, is known for preaching the Bhagavad Gita, for its spiritual teachings, for talking about Bhakti yoga, where is Bangladesh now?
Akankshaji, Bangladesh has now, under Yunus government, has become an epicenter of Hindu haters and India haters. And every Hindu in this country and secularist individuals like us, we are put into burning inferno. This is the exact situation. And unless the international community immediately acts, takes some stern measures, I am afraid what is going to happen to Hindus even after 1 week in this country.
Well, I don't know how much of faith can we in fact place in the West, because we know how this interim government has also been formed. But I'm afraid I'll have to leave it at that. Many thanks to you, Sushant and Mr. Chaudhary, for joining in on the right stand. And with that, it's a wrap from my end. Up next is Brass Tacks with Zaka Jacob.
Good evening, this is Brass Tacks. I'm Zaka Jacob. It is all but certain now that Devendra Fadnavis will become the next Chief Minister of Maharashtra. This evening, all three leaders of the Mahayuti, Fadnavis, Eknath Shinde and Ajit Pawar, are all in Delhi. They will be meeting with Home Minister Amit Shah. After this, the decks will be cleared for Devendra Fadnavis to take over the reins of the top job in Mantralaya.